Diksha from my guru in my place. Then I was connected to that ashram. One second Guru Purnima, everybody was going to another city, nearby city, to celebrate the Guru Purnima. And that time Swami Satyanand Maharaj used to come to the places and celebrate the Guru Purnima. Like he used to sit like how we do puja for the God. He used to sit and people used to come in line, offer their offerings and do puja for Swami Satyananda ji, his disciples. So we went to that city and I was standing in the queue. This was my first time doing puja for a physical person like a god. So I was little afraid and was not comfortable. So because I was like a totally worldly girl. I was not into this puja things and all, but mind was changing a little bit since I started going to the ashram. My father was very spiritual person. He used to take me to yoga classes and to this ashram. So I was little changing my mind. When I reached there, when other person was in the line, Swami, the other people around Swamiji, other Swamis, they are taking flower and putting in the flower box, mala in the mala box and upper cloth in the upper box like this. Quickly they were trying to push the people because 1,000 people are in the queue. When I reached to Swamiji, Swamiji stopped everybody and he said, "Give me your plate." He ordered my plate and asked me to puja systematically. So people are thinking, who is this girl? Swamiji is giving her so much time and making her to do systematic puja. This is one Guru Purnima. That Guru Purnima itself, after finished the puja, we went to the room where Swamiji was giving satsang. Everybody asking their questions. So they were asking what I should do in my life, whether I should take sannyas or I go to this line, that line. Swamiji was giving advice them. One very close friend of two of mine also wanted to take sannyas. Swami said, "No, not yet. You go and study." I said, "Sir, everybody is asking, let me also ask what I should do." Because I finished my education, MSc I did and I went there. So Swami said, "You take sannyas." I was surprised and shocked. How Swamiji is telling me that you take sannyas? Because it was not in my mind that I should take sannyas. He immediately said, "You take sannyas." So Guru recognizes what is inside you. You don't know. And that is the seed he sowed in my heart, in my consciousness. When I came, I was a little different person. I didn't tell to anybody in my family what Guruji said, only to my father. And he was very happy. He said, in one family, one person is sannyasi, means 7 generation is got moksha. So, but other people are not supporting me at all. When they heard about it, they stopped my going to the ashram also. They said, no more ashram. Next Guru Purnima, when I went to next Guru Purnima, again there was another city like Guru Purnima like this. And when I was in the queue, I was having heavy fever, but I was holding all the puja items and I went there. Swamiji asked me to sit down near him. I sat down and what he did, asked me to open his chotis, I have big hair. And he said, he put the tripund on my forehead. From his neck, he put mala on my neck. And then he gave proti to me and said, from today onwards, your name is Swami Gambhiranand. So half sannyas diksha is over, without asking me. And then I was hiding all this mala and everything, so no, my family people should see. Otherwise, they will be panicked. After that, Guru Purnima over. Next Guru Purnima, I went to Bihar School of Yoga to serve 1 month because it was the opening ceremony of the Ganga Darshan, the big story building, 7-story building. So 1 month I was there. Swamiji asked me to wear only Geru dhoti, and I was among the sannyasis. I was working with them. One day before the puja, my father came to take me back. You knew that Swami said, go and shave your head. I shaved my head. And next day my father came. My Swami said, you recognize your daughter, where is your daughter? Because everyone is shaved. So my father said, now I'm not taking you home, you be here. And I stayed in Bihar School of Yoga. It was 1982. Then in 1983, Swamiji gave me complete sannyas. And that day he said, you will do the spreading of yoga a lot. I don't know that vision I completed or not, but I'm trying my level best. Swami sent me to Chennai to serve the Chennai people, so I am doing here my best, whatever I can do. Before I came alone, now all the teachers, my beloved teachers, my backbones are here, who is helping me a lot, and different courses we are running with the help of these people. And God wills, furthermore, I will try my level best to do so many other things in yoga field. Guru, once you make Guru, if you take Diksha, you must continue it. Today or tomorrow you will get benefit. Definitely you will get the result. Because many people, I want to say this especially because many people take Diksha but they don't know, they don't follow that tradition. They don't do even their japa. One mala japa also they don't do, because I did so many months, so many years, but I now no result. And they drop it. So there is connection they lose their connection with the Guru. If you take mantra Diksha, if you take mantra from the Guru, if you are going from here to Delhi or Bombay by bullock cart, how you go, how many days it will take? If you go by car, how many days it will take? If you go by flight, how many days it will, how many hours it will take? So if you take Diksha and you regularly practice it, it means you are sitting in the flight for your journey. What is your journey? What is your journey? Journey of Jiva Atma. Okay? Not is this body journey. Okay? This body is for 60 years, 70 years, 100 years. But your Jivatma starts from when you separated from Supreme Consciousness, from God. And then when you are passing all the births and going again back to the Supreme Consciousness. This is the one lifetime of your Jivatma. In this, it doesn't matter you take 1 birth, 2 birth or 10 births also to reach to that highest goal. But if once you step forward, you move, you take mantra diksha, you continue it till you reach to your destiny. So mantra means you purifying yourself. Manna trayate iti mantra. What the mantra do? Like in one pond, if you see the water is steady, you see the pure water. If you take in hand, the water will be pure. No, you don't feel any dust, you don't see any dust. You throw the stones, the dust which is sitting in the bottom, it will come up slowly, isn't it? So this is the mantra is like a stone which you're throwing into your subconscious, inner mind, and the dust comes out slowly. The impurity which you have inside, you are purifying your mind by chanting the mantra. It is very safe sadhana. And it is said in our scriptures, because Treta Yuga for Homam and all, Dwapar is for mantra chanting. But in this Kali Yuga, if you are doing bhajan kirtan, beginning we did bhajan kirtan, you will reach to the highest goal because it's an easy way to control the mind. So Guru plays a very, Kabir Das ji said, Guru Govind dono kade काके लागू पाए बलिहारी गुरु आपकी जो सदगुरु दिए बताए. Means Guru and Govind, if both are standing, means your God and Guru both is standing. If God only comes in front of you, you will able to recognize. It is not possible. In which form he will come, how you will know. So when Guru is there, he will tell you this is your Guru, this is the God. So Guru only can through Guru only you can recognize recognize the God. So Guru Govind dono pade. Whom to prostrate first? So you prostrate first, you do pranam first to your Guru. And every day we are chanting Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. So Guru is above than Param Brahma. Param Brahma who originated Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the creator, preservator and destroyer. Guru then above them. So we always give first place to Guru. Even it's first place than mother, father. Every birth, your mother will be different, your father will be different, your husband will be different, your wife will be different, your friends will be different. Everybody change. But Guru is always one. You must have known Ladi Masha example. Babaji and Ladi Masha, you know about it? You know or you don't know? Babaji, you know, which institution that Baba institution? Yogananda. Babaji was in the jungle. He was in the subtle form. Ladi Masha was engineer, forest engineer. He went to the forest. Some work. There he heard the voice. Ladi, what you are doing there? You come behind me. He went behind the voice. He entered into the cave. There he saw the kamandalu and the bark, the lion bark. He said, "This is your previous janma things I am keeping safely. You what you are hanging there? Come back here and do your complete your sadhana." Ladi Masha left his house, left his job, and came to the jungle and doing sadhana. When Ladi Masha in search of Yoganand, he also went to one place where the small boy was lying in the cradle. He said to his mother, "This is my disciple Yoganand. Once he is become older, give it to me." Swami Satyananji found Swami Niranjanananji. He said, "He is my childhood itself." He said, "He will be my disciple. He will be my successor." So if you cannot find your Guru in your life, Guru will find you from somewhere. So anything you feel from any yogis, any sadhus, any feeling inside, like how two lovers feel each other, you know, you should feel with your Guru, like that feeling comes, it means he is your Guru. So find one Guru if you want to step into spiritual life. You find one Guru, definitely you will leave the Guru, but Guru will not leave you. He will always behind you. He knows what you do, which path you should go. So always everybody should have one Guru in the life. You have to guide you history, geography, civics, science, Hindi for the Guru. They are Guru, but this is Sadguru who is guide you in your life. So Hari Om Tat Sat.